Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do that demonstration. That is the second part of this activity here. So you should be able to check your answers against the one of these that I have posted in Canvas if you need to make sure that everything's okay. And you have identified each of these as being polar or non-polar. So if you haven't done that yet, stop watching this video, go back and do this assignment. On the back of that page, you will find this, okay? Now in class, I will be defining miscible and immiscible, soluble and insoluble. Of course, you can always look those up on the web. So we're going to do two things here today. We're going to mix the water and the food coloring. That's the first part there. You should know whether they're polar or non-polar from your earlier work on the other side of the page. Then we're going to mix them. You're going to write your observations. You're going to figure out, are they miscible or immiscible? And then you're going to write a conclusion. All right? And do that from this video, please. All right, so on the first one, water and food coloring. So I'm going to get a little bit of water. And just water from the tap is all I'm going to use. There's nothing unusual about it at all. And I'm going to pour that into this big test tube with a cap on it. Just enough that we can really see what's going on. So by now you know that water is polar because of the oxygen-hydrogen bond. And the food coloring, you've also figured out, is polar because of the oxygen-carbon bond. So I'll put a couple of drops of food coloring in there. And you can see it moving through the water. Then I'll put the cap on the test tube and I will shake it up. And as you can see, it mixes completely. It is miscible. That means it mixes completely. And that is because water is soluble in food coloring and food coloring is soluble in water. The food coloring dissolves in the water. Then we're going to get the vegetable oil. And you know from your previous work that the vegetable oil is non-polar because of the carbon-hydrogen bonds. And so we're going to pour a little bit of oil in there. And you can see that it makes a layer on the top. All right, so at the moment, it does not look like it is miscible. It looks like it is immiscible, or that the oil does not dissolve in water. It is insoluble in water, but we're going to shake that up and find out. So the reason we have the cap on it is so I can do this. And you can see that even though the oil was mixed all throughout the water, it's simply, oops, where am I? There I am. It's simply coming back to the top. It is not soluble in water. It is insoluble. Oil does not mix with water. It is immiscible. And so we find that two things that are polar dissolve in one another, and something that is non-polar and polar do not dissolve in one another. And so there's your rules. Please check the completed notes on Canvas now that you've watched this video, and finish the notes on your own.